right, let's go. As Pandem said, this was a tough nut to crack, but I think I got a deck here that's thematic and can beat this quest fairly consistently. It's very hard in solo. Hopefully you watched my deck building video about the deck I chose to bring to this quest. I did not include it at the beginning of this video because the video was already quite long and I wanted to spend some nice time talking about the deck I built. It was a fun process and I got to interact with a lot of great members of the community when I did so. So hopefully you checked that video out. All right, let's take a look at this quest. So this is Journey to the Crossroads, one of the most difficult quests in the entire game to play solo. Okay, so we're playing campaign mode setup. We're going to choose to either add one resource to each of our heroes, or we shuffle a copy of Brace of Conies into the deck. Brace of Conies is a great card, but I'm going to choose the resources. We got to hit the ground running, and then we're going to remove these burden icon cards. So all the same burdens we've had in the previous quests. Okay, let's take a look at 1B, Ambush the Men of Harad. Setup, add the Black Gate and the Crossroads to the staging area, shuffle the Men of Harad encounter set and place it face down under the Crossroads. And then each player, except the first player, searches the encounter deck for a different non-unique location and adds it to the staging area. Okay, so we don't have to add the location, but we are going to add these two cards. So this quest, you have a separate deck full of these Men of Harad enemies. They're underneath the Crossroads, which is 9 threat, 9 progress, but the Crossroads gets -1 threat for every card under it, and you're going to start with 9 cards under it. It's immune, and then we cannot travel there until there are no cards under it and 20 progress on the main quest phase. Here are the 9 cards, each enemy worse than the next. There's 3 different enemies, a Mumak, an Archer, and a guy that attacks you when it engages you. And these aren't the only enemies in this quest. There's also enemies in the encounter deck as well. So very nasty. I'm going to put die on this to keep track of the threat. It's actually going to start out at 1 threat for reasons you will see in a moment. So that's basically 1 threat in the staging area to start the game in solo. Let's take a look at the other card that's supposed to be in the staging area. I'm keeping it out of the staging area because the staging area gets pretty cluttered. All right, we got the Black Gate, Mordor, forced. At the end of the planning phase, place each Harad enemy in the staging area face down under the Black Gate. If there are at least X face-down cards under the Black Gate, the players lose. X is 3 more than the number of players. So I can't have 4 cards get underneath the Black Gate. So at the end of each planning phase, any enemies left in the staging area go under there. So we need to engage every enemy we can. And then 1B, 20 progress needed, forced at the beginning of the quest phase, reveal the top card from underneath the Crossroads. So that's why it's going to start at 1 threat, because we're going to remove at least one of those cards from underneath it. The players cannot defeat the stage while the Crossroads is in play. When the Crossroads is explored, we win. So, at a minimum, you're going 9 rounds. There is a treachery that can pull a second enemy out from underneath the Crossroads. But this is a long quest, and you are going to be constantly harassed, and you have to hit the ground running. That's why, if you saw in my deck building video, I'm not messing around. I mean, this is an Outlands deck. It's got Steward of Gondor. It has Test of Will. These are cards I don't normally use. I usually try to build decks not using these powerful cards. I don't mind these powerful cards. I'm glad they're in the game. And for this quest, I need to use them, and they're thematic. Outlands is Gondor, Steward of Gondor. I mean, Faramir, now that Boromir's dead, he would be the next Steward of Gondor. And Test of Will is just needed. You just need to cancel some of these treacheries. All right, so we have Black Rider's Frodo. He can put on the ring and spend a resource, and we can shuffle in an encounter card just revealed. So he's going to hopefully be shuffling away enemies we reveal. We also have Leadership Faramir. So he has 2 for all of his stats. I'm not too excited about that, but he does let an ally ready when you engage an enemy. That's great. Barivor rode in. And in this chapter, when Sam and Frodo meet up with the Ithilien Rangers, Frodo is surprised to learn that these Men of Gondor are also Dunedain descent. So it makes perfect sense to me that a Dunedain Ranger would have rode down from the north or something to help them out. And then we have our spy, our defector. So in my version of this deck, I thought it would be pretty cool if the Ithilien Rangers had a Harad soldier that did not agree with the Men of Harad joining forces with Sauron and is actually actively helping the free peoples of Middle-earth fight Sauron by joining the Ithilien Rangers. So we have Jubair as a messenger of the king. So he is my hero. He can defend, and against a non-unique enemy, he can discard the shadow card, limit once per phase, and then he only can be readied once thanks to the messenger of the king contract. So this is really cool. I like the idea of a soldier of Harad helping the Ithilien Rangers. And Sam in the book, Faramir in the movie, talk about how perhaps not all the men of Harad were evil. Some of them are just being forced to do this. And so I thought that was a great way to represent this. We still have the 3 boons helping us out. We have lots of burdens, including the Searching Eye, which will get shuffled into my deck after I draw my opening hand, because Caleb has ruled that setup effect, which isn't even a setup effect, it doesn't say setup, but he said the boons and burdens do not enter play until after you've already drawn your opening hand. So I need a good one. I need a really good opening hand. I would love to see Ithir Swordsman and an Anthalas Herdsman just so I can get some willpower on the table. I would like Jubair to get +1 defense somehow, and I would like lots of card draw. I just want to see as many cards as possible so I have as many options as possible. When you have to hit the ground running in one of these quests, the more cards you have in hand, the better, because the more options you have. There's card draw, fierce defense. That's going to be incredibly important when my threat hits 40. Threat reduction. There's an Anthalas Herdsman. Heed the Dream will draw cards. Drinking Song will draw cards. Okay, well, I got lots of card draw, but my other 3 cards are not great. Fierce Defense really doesn't do anything until my threat hits 40, and I don't have any way to raise my threat quickly with these cards. I think that was a pretty generic opening hand. I can do a lot better. So one of the things C-Stan wondered if I'd be okay with was including cards with Doomed, and so he suggested Legacy of Numenor, which is thematic, right? So I'm okay with Legacy of Numenor for a card, and that is Doomed 4. So my threat is 30 to start the game with, and I want to get it up to 40 as fast as possible because I need to have a way to handle these Mumacs. That was the hardest part about building a deck for this quest, is you have to get rid of a Mumac, and there are cards that do it, but you always need to build for them. So let's take a look. Okay, there's a way for Jubair to get +1 defense. I need to have access to tactics, card draw, test of will. There's an Ithir Swordsman. There's Doom 2 to draw 2 cards. And my side quest is back. Okay, well, I gotta keep it. So I need to find the Song of Battle so I can play tactics cards. So that is one of the reasons Heed the Dream is in this deck. I should be able to pay for the kicker of Heed the Dream and search my entire deck for a card on turn 2. If I had Legacy of Numenor in my opening hand, I could do Heed the Dream and pay for the kicker on turn 1. Again, a deck that's built to get you what you need as fast as possible. Barivor will be drawing me cards every round if possible. Maybe not on round 1. I need to leave as many characters ready as possible going into the combat phase, just in case something crazy happens right off the bat. You can definitely lose this game on turn 1. All right, like I said, we are giving everybody an extra resource instead of shuffling in Brace of Conies. I don't get to draw a card because of Gandalf's delay. And now we're going to go into turn 1, and I have 2 resources on everybody. First thing I'm going to do is play Deep Knowledge, raise my threat by 2, and draw 2 cards. So let's see what we get. All right, we get the Anthalas Herdsman and Favor of the Valar. Okay, those are 2 good cards. So we're going to start out, we're going to play Ithir Swordsman and the Anthalas Herdsman. So that's perfect. So I can pay for all this thanks to those extra resources. The Ithir Swordsman is going to be questing for +1 willpower because he gives all Outlands characters +1 willpower. So he's questing for 2. And the Anthalas Herdsman gives all Outlands characters +1 hit point. So that helps me soak up some archery, and he is now questing for 1. To maximize my odds of finding the Song of Battle, I have those 3 Heed the Dreams. So I'm not going to play Heed the Dream until next turn, so I have 3 leadership resources so I can search my entire deck for a card. So I think that's it for now. And let's go into the quest phase. And this is one of those quests where I'm just constantly triple checking that I've done everything right. Okay, so right off the bat, before we go questing, we reveal the top card. It is an archer. He has 1 threat because his X value is the number of players. When he engages you, he deals X damage, and he has archery X. Okay, so now we only have 2 threat in staging. If this enemy was a Mumak, it would be sneaking through to the Black Gate. I just wouldn't even deal with it. So it's okay for the first 1 or 2 enemies to sneak through in a solo game. You just have to resign yourself that that is how you're going to handle that mechanic of the quest. Okay, on the quest, we'll send the 2 Outlands characters and Frodo. So that is 5 willpower. I'm not sending any of the other 3 heroes because there's a great chance that I could reveal an enemy like this one. So this is the captain of Harad. He's just terrible. He's just absolutely horrible. So we're going to use Black Rider's Frodo's ability and shuffle him into the deck and reveal another card by putting on the ring and spending a resource. I make a mess and drop the cards all over the place. But yeah, let's reveal a different card. It's probably going to be the same one. No, it's not. Wow. Okay. You need a little luck sometimes to beat this quest. That is like the best possible card I could have revealed. I was hoping to get any location, but to get Henethanan, which is a panic button, absolutely amazing. Okay, great. So we got 2 progress on the quest out of 20. We are not going to travel because we don't need to cancel the combat phase and engagement phase right now. So let's engage this archer, and then this is where you really got to remember all your stuff. Okay, so when he engages me, I got to deal damage to somebody. Faramir is going to ready somebody. I have all 3 of my non-fellowship heroes ready, which I did on purpose because it was very, very possible, thanks to treacheries and other effects, that I would have had to engage 2 enemies. So, okay, 1 damage and then 1 archery, so I dealt that to each of my Outlands characters. He gets a shadow, he's attacking for 3, Jabir gets rid of the shadow. There's a treachery that I think would have made me grab a second enemy. And then now I can use Barivor to draw 2 cards because I can't quite kill this guy. So let's see what Barivor finds me. An Aether Swordsman and the Searching Eye. Well, this is a great time to get the Searching Eye because I have 1 ready hero, so I will exhaust Faramir. I could have also revealed an encounter card, but only exhausting 1 hero was great. I couldn't have killed this archer anyway, and so yeah, okay, that worked out really well. Now the Searching Eye's in my hand, which I need to basically wait for Daron's runes now so I can discard it because I don't want to play any of my shuffle my hand into my deck and draw cards. So I'm Drinking Song and Old Bogey Stories are kind of no-goes until I get rid of this card out of my hand. Let's go into the next round, and I'm going to draw Legacy of Numenor. So that's wonderful. I'm going to get some much-needed resource acceleration. We're going to play double back into the staging area, which will help me drop my threat right back down. Now I feel like I can use Barivor in the planning phase. I'm hoping to get Unexpected Courage or the Steed of the North, and you just got to take risks when playing this quest. And I also have that location, which can save me if I get enemy swarmed here right off the bat. So let's draw 2 cards, and they're both tactics cards. So this is why I need to find the Song of Battle. So let's play Heed the Dream. I'm going to look for Steward of Gondor and Song of Battle. Unexpected Courage is kind of tempting as well, but I've played this deck against this quest a few times. I know what's more important. Okay, well, Song of Battle and Steward of Gondor are in my top 5, so I don't even have to make a choice because I can spend all 3 of my leadership resources, which would let me search my entire deck for a card. So I'm going to grab both of these, so that means I can now play the Steward of Gondor and Song of Battle on Faramir. So he will be able to help pay for tactics cards. But first, let's play Legacy of Numenor. So, doomed 4, everybody gets a resource. That means I'll have 2 resources on Jabir, so he can pay for that extra Aether Swordsman. So all my Outlands characters have +1 willpower. Frodo's going to pay for the Song of Battle, so Faramir can pay for tactics cards and play 0-cost tactics cards. So that was very successful. That's why Barivor is pretty much like just the keystone of this deck. You just need to draw the cards. So being able to constantly draw cards and have the options to play is what's going to get me the win against this quest. So thanks, C-Stan, for suggesting Barivor as basically just a needed hero for a quest like this. And it's like I said, it's not out of the realm of theme that a Dunedain would be helping the Ithilien Rangers. Okay, so let's get this right. I always send characters on the quest and I have to backtrack. You're supposed to reveal this card first. The Crossroads is 2 threat, and then we get the Haradrim Soldier. So he's 40 engagement, 2 threat, and he makes an immediate attack when he engages you, and he attacks for 4. I really don't have a good answer for this, but like I said, in the early rounds, I'm okay with an enemy sneaking through if need be. I'm already engaged with an enemy. And, okay, so now I get to commit characters to the quest. So I'm currently up against 5. My 2 Aether Swordsmen are questing for 3 each. The Herdsman is 2. So that is a total of 8. And then Frodo will make it 10. Let's send Faramir for 12. Let's make some progress while we can. I really can't kill anything anyway. And we get, okay, arrows thick in the air. When revealed, each Harad enemy gains archery 2 into the end of the round. We shall fight in the shade. Okay, so if I had revealed a treachery that made an enemy make an attack against me, Jabire was ready. And since this is going to add a ton of archery, I think we are going to travel to Henneth Anen this round. But we do make a lot of progress. So that added no threat. So we're going to make, 7 progress. So we're going to go to 9. And then we're going to travel to Henneth Anen. So we're going to skip the encounter phase, the combat phase. And we also ignore the forced effects on 1B and the Black Gate. And then when it becomes the active location, all enemies engaged with us go back up to the staging area. So that means we don't have archery because we're skipping the combat phase. We are no longer engaged with an enemy, which, re-engaging these enemies is no good. But this buys us around. Even if I didn't have this location, I could have survived an attack and then just let that enemy sneak through the gate. So, yep, I had a plan A and a plan B. Okay, next round we draw a test of will. That's good. I like having a test of will because just canceling a treachery is really nice. Okay, let's play Steward of Gondor on Faramir. So, of course, costs 2, then you exhaust it and you get 2 resources right back. So he can pay for tactics cards. He's going to be generating lots of resources, which will help with Gondorian Fire. So attached to a Gondor or Dunedain hero, you remove a resource from the hero, and then that hero gets +1 attack for every remaining resource on him. Okay, well, I can pay for tactics cards, so let's put this Gondorian shield on Jabire, and he will defend for 1 more. If he had the Steward of Gondor, he would gain the Gondor trait, and he would actually defend for 2. But just giving him a +1 boost is good when we don't have the shadows going off. The shadows are particularly nasty. All right, Beravor, what are you going to find me? She finds her horse, the Steed of the North, and Drinking Song, which I don't want to play right now. Steed of the North is wonderful, so after we engage an enemy, she will ready. So let's put that on her with Faramir's last resource. So now when we engage an enemy, Beravor will ready, and Faramir will ready an ally. That's about all I can do. So here we go, top card, and it's another one of these Haradrim soldiers. Well, now I'm in trouble because my threat is 38, and I only can engage one of these guys. Maybe if I get that location that lets me engage 2, I can, but I really don't have a way to engage 2 enemies right now. So that kind of stinks. I think 2 of these are going to sneak through to the gate, which, like I said, if you're playing this quest solo and you have 1 or 2 sneak through in the first, 3 or 4 rounds, fine, whatever. Okay, and, okay, so I avoided it 1 time, but arrows thick in the air this time would be archery 6. That's a lot of damage. I got to cancel this thing. So we're going to cancel that arrows thick in the air. We are not going to fight in the shade. Okay, so that means we make 2 progress. So Henneth, is it Anan or Anan? Anyway, that goes into victory display. We're up to 10 out of 20 on the quest stage. And yeah, I was hoping to get a location because a lot of them say engage an enemy to travel there, or you can optionally engage a second enemy. So unfortunately, I only can grab 1 of these. And since 2 of them are going to sneak through, I think I'm just going to grab that archer again. And the ones that make a second attack, I'm going to let sneak through. They hit harder and they're harder to kill. So that's my decision. Okay, so let's engage this archer. It does 1 damage when it engages, and then it's going to have archery 1. So let's put an Aether Swordsman damaged, and Beravor will take a damage. Speaking of Beravor, she should have readied when we engaged this enemy, and Faramir should have readied one of my allies, which will be an Aether Swordsman. He's attacking for 3 again. Jabire's going to get rid of the shadow. Good. There goes that captain of Harad. There are other locations in this quest, right? Like, I've only seen treacheries and enemies in that 1 unique location. Let's see. I forgot that I could have readied an ally. So with Beravor, Faramir, and an Aether Swordsman ready, we can attack for 5. And this enemy, that is not a damage, that is his threat. This enemy takes 6 to kill. So he is 1 hit point away from death. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. And that's it for this round. So let's go into the next round. My threat is 39. I'm almost to 40. I would love it to hit 40 this round, if at all possible. So I can play that Fierce Defense because I want to be in Valor, which is 40. We draw Eorith, so she's like the field medic that went along with this ranger group. So she can be exhausted, and you spend a lore resource, and she can heal 3 damage on somebody. The Warden of Healing would also be a good choice for this deck and this quest. All right, Barivor is going to draw me 2 cards, and we get Fierce Defense, which is great, and then we get Mablung. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to see the named character come in. So Mablung, he has an effect that would let me engage an enemy, but the only enemies I could engage make an immediate attack, and I know I'm revealing another enemy from underneath the Crossroads, so I think no matter what, 2 enemies would sneak through to the Black Gate, so let's not engage an enemy. It would have been nice to engage an enemy using his ability, but I don't think I can handle it because I'm currently engaged with one. Even with Quick Strike, I don't think I could handle it. So I wish I had one more Doomed card in hand. If I didn't have the Searching Eye, I would play either Old Bogey Stories or Drinking Song and see if I could find a Doomed card, and hopefully Fierce Defense would come back into my hand. Yeah, I don't think I ever gave myself resources this round. I'm kind of off my game a little bit with the order of operations at the beginning of a turn because I'm not using my tracker for this quest because I figured Faramir is going to end up with a mountain of resources and it's easier to see the resources. Okay, let's play Favor of the Valar. So you attach it to your threat dial. If you would be eliminated by reaching your threat elimination level, discard that and drop your threat by 5. So it keeps me alive. The flavor text is from when Faramir is being carried into the Houses of Healing. So it's actually somewhat thematic. Okay, so I have Quick Strike, I have Fierce Defense, and my threat is 39. All right, let's go into the quest phase. Test of Will is in hand. And the first thing we got to say is after the planning phase was over, those 2 enemies snuck through to the Black Gate. So we have 2 of 4. If we hit 4, we lose. And then now we need to reveal the top card of the Crossroads. So the top card is... Okay, another one of these archers. No Mumax yet. So that's another 1 threat enemy. There's currently 5 threat in staging. Let's continue to go against the main quest, because like I said, I actually want my threat to get above 40, and then I'm going to try to keep it around 45. So sending on the quest, we'll send Mablung, the 2 swordsmen, the herdsman, and Frodo. Okay, so that is a total of 12, and we reveal, yep, this Captain of Harad. He's just so terrible, and I just don't want to deal with him. So Frodo should not already have the ring on, so he's going to wear the ring, spend a resource, we're going to shuffle him back in, and I hope I don't reveal him again. I mean, come on, location. I want a location. I definitely don't want that little Sergi enemy. That would be bad too. But I'm due for a location to come out. There's been none as shadows. I've only revealed 1. Come on. And we get, nope, it's a treachery. So either place the lowest attack Harad enemy engaged with you face down under the Black Gate, or reveal the top face down card under the Crossroads and put it in play engaged with you. So this is how you can avoid going 9 rounds and reveal a second enemy from underneath the Crossroads. But we're just going to cancel that. So now I don't have a Test of Will in hand. So between Black Rider's Frodo and Test of Will, I'm barely able to keep up with this quest. And so we added no threat, so that's excellent. So now we made quite a lot of progress on the quest, 7 more. And so we're 3 away from having 20. We're going to engage this other archer. So that readies Barivor, it readies Mablung, let's say. And then he does a damage, and then archery, 2. So let's spread out some archery. Eorith heals Barivor. It looks like I forgot to deal out one of the archery, but I decided to use Quick Strike and kill one of these enemies, which I could have done in the travel phase, and that would have been 1 less archery anyway. So let's use Quick Strike, and let's say I killed it before the combat phase, so I didn't have that archery. So let's kill the wounded one. It only takes a 2 attack to kill it. And then we can defend the other one with Shubayr and get rid of the shadow. Let's see what this shadow was. That was a treachery. Okay, lots of locations in the encounter deck. I'm due. All right, so Shubayr is going to defend 4 against 3. And the shadow is, it is the location, but it's It's probably the worst one, so I'm glad I didn't reveal that. And then Mablung can swing for 1, Barivor for 2, and Faramir's already exhausted. So we do a couple damage to this archer, and our threat hits 40. So I've hit 40 threat, which is good. I'm glad I'm in Valor. And let's go. C-Stan's deck had more ways to raise your threat. I just kind of hoped I could get there quick enough. All right, Song of Battle. Barivor is going to draw 2 cards. Come on. And we get, yes! Test of Will and Daron's Runes. All right, Daron's Runes. That's what I've been looking for. So let's play it. Draw 2 cards. I have to discard a card from my hand. More card draw. Heed the Dream and another test. Daron's Runes. All right, well, obviously the card I'm going to discard is the Searching Eye. So now it's not scary to shuffle my hand back into my deck. Let's play this Daron's Runes, and we get a Steward of Gondor and another Quick Strike, so I will discard the Steward. All right, great. I got Fierce Defense, I have Quick Strike, and Faramir is currently sitting on 5 resources. All right. Let's play Heed the Dream. And so I probably won't pay for the kicker. Let's just see what's in the top 5 cards. Unexpected Courage would be nice. There is an Unexpected Courage. Legacy of Numenor. Nah. Unexpected Courage. I would love it if either Jabire or Faramir could ready. All right, let's go questing. Once again, against the main quest. So I start to send characters on the quest, and then remember I'm supposed to get that enemy first. So I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, here comes the enemy. There we go. It's an Oliphant. All right. That guy is absolutely terrible. He's adding 3 threat. So that means we're going to be up against 8 threat. There's no active location, of course. And we sent 12. All right. So I would like to make the final 3 progress on the quest, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. But hey, Hills of Ithilien comes out. All right, cool. So it's a nice location. It's a 2/4. And then while it's active, when we engage an enemy, we deal a damage to it. Okay, that's excellent. So 19 out of 20 on the quest. And yeah, let's travel to the Hills of Ithilien. No problem there. Let's engage a Mumak. It exhausts all my allies when it engages me. It can only take 3 damage a round. It attacks for 6. And there's 3 of them. So, yeah. All right, so then Faramir triggers, and he's going to ready Mablung. Barivor also readied, thanks to Steed of the North. And then Archery 1. So let's put the Archery on Mablung. And then now it's time to play the tech. So either you need like the Great Hunt, Hunting Party, Fierce Defense, Straight Shot with a way to reduce its defense, but you got to have some sort of tech. So here's mine, Fierce Defense, Valor Combat Action. If my threat is above 40, I can spend 3 resources and discard a non-unique enemy. So there we go. We got rid of a Mumak by spending 3 resources, and now we're getting attacked by this archer again. Let's get rid of that shadow. There goes another Treachery. And then Barivor's ready. Faramir's ready. Mablung is ready. So we can attack for 5, and that is just enough to kill this guy, and we are sitting good. No enemies in play. We have willpower on the board. The way this deck wins is you just have to assume whatever enemies come out first are going underneath the gate, and then you just got to get some willpower on the board, and you should be okay. If you don't like the enemies that made it through the gate, because you know what's going to happen if they make it through, you can just replay it, and hopefully you're okay with the enemies that sneak through. But I am perfectly fine with any enemies sneaking through in round 1 and 2. I figure I'm playing this game solo, and I'm just happy to get a win with a thematic deck. All right, so we drew another Gondorian Fire, and then Barivor drew me some card draw. I'm going to play that Deep Knowledge and draw even more cards. I'm going to play this Legacy of Numenor and make my threat go all the way up to 47, but I'm not worried. I'm going to give everybody resources, and yeah, let's get some more cards on the table here, and let's get to the end of this quest. I am so glad this deck is working. And I wish I had like one more Outlands character so I could quest for a little more. So let's play this Unexpected Courage on Jubire. He can ready once a phase, so now he can defend twice. And yeah, so if I would have gotten a situation where I had all those enemies at this point, like if I had 2 enemies in staging right now and Mablung came into play, I could handle it. But early in the game, it's just not going to happen. All right, I am actually going to play Drinking Song, and I'm going to shuffle this hand away and draw 8 cards. I would like to find Fierce Defense, and I didn't have it in hand. So Jubire could handle the attack. He would take 2 damage because he could get rid of the shadow, and then Yorith could keep healing him. So I could actually handle a Mumak attack at this point. All right, we got Quick Strike, another Deep Knowledge. There's Fierce Defense. Hallbreak of Mail. Okay, great. Sam showed up. All right, cool. And another Outlands character. Okay, that was good. That was a good Drinking Song. So let's put in Sam. He only costs 1. He's going to quest for 2. And he's just a nice little ally. And plus, he's Sam, right? You got to get Sam in play. So now we got Mablung and Sam in play. I'm glad about that. Let's play the second Amphalas Herdsman. So we have more hit points for archery, and he's going to be questing for 2. So Barivor will pay for that. Frodo should not have the ring on. And then let's put this Hallbreak of Mail on Jubire, because he's a warrior. So he gets +1 defense, and if he's Sentinel, which he is, he gets +1 hit point. So now Jubire is defending for 5. So even if I didn't have Fierce Defense for the rest of the game, I feel like Jubire could handle these Mumak attacks, especially with Yorith and him being able to discard shadow cards. All right. Let's increase the Crossroads threat to 6, and we get the 3rd archer. Okay, so that's only 1 threat. I think we're going to go against the side quests, because I'm only 1 progress away from hitting 20. So let's send a total of 16 willpower. And we are currently up against 7. We got to get through 4 progress, and we get Marching Up the Road. First time we've seen this. When revealed, each player must either return an enemy engaged with him to the staging area, or search the encounter deck for a Harad enemy and put it in play engaged with them. Well, this is fine. I just put Unexpected Courage on Jubire. So I will I could either grab one of these little surgy guys, but he makes me discard a card. And I do not want to discard Fierce Defense. So, God, there's so many of them in here. What were you thinking, Caleb? Jeez. Okay, let's grab this Captain of Harad that I keep shuffling back into the deck. So when he engages me, enemies attack for more, and they have -10 engagement. But it does a lot of things. So it's going to ready Barivor, and then I also get to ready an ally. So I'm supposed to actually exhaust the Steed of the North when I engage an enemy. And we added no threat. Okay, that's excellent. And I forgot, the Hills of Ithilien deal a damage when you engage an enemy. I forgot about that with the Mumak because I didn't care. But yeah, okay, so let's do everything right. Exhaust Steed of the North, ready Barivor. Ready Sam. Okay? And then the Captain of Harad, because of the Hills of Ithilien, takes a damage. There we go. I think I got everything right there. We added no threat, so of course we clear the hills, and we also double back. So we're going to drop our threat by 5. I'm still above 40, so we are down to 42. Not bad. And now let's engage this guy. And Barivor's already ready, but I get to ready another ally because it's once per phase. And then he's going to deal a damage when he engages me. And then Barivor's going to take the archery as well. I don't know if I remember that I should have readied another ally. Yeah, there I go. I remembered. Okay, Mablung pops up. That's nice. Spend a resource, exhaust Yorith, heal Barivor. Frodo, you are not wearing the ring. Take that off, dude. Okay, let's get attacked. So he is attacking for 5, and the archer's attacking for 4, because the Captain of Harad gives a +1 attack bonus. Let's see. So Faramir attacks for 2, and if I spend a resource, he's attacking for 6. So let's do that. Let's play Quick Strike, because when you spend the resource on Gondorian Fire, it's the value at that moment. So I spent the resource. I had 4 resources. He's getting a +4 attack boost. Then I can play Quick Strike and spend the resource, and it doesn't drop Faramir's attack down. So that works. I don't know if I actually spent the resource, though. It looks like I forgot to spend it, but I knew it worked. I just should have spent that second resource for Quick Strike, which again would not change the attack value he had when I triggered Gondorian Fire. Okay, so now we're just getting attacked for 5, and that is what Jubire is defending for. This guy is not unique, so we can discard the shadow. There goes a nice location. So we're fine there. Jubire is going to ready. He's attacking for 2. Barivor for 2. And then my 2 allies are each attacking for 1, so that's a total of 6 attack. He has 3 defense, so 3 damage is going to go through, and we're not even really close. I mean, we still have 3 more enemies underneath the Crossroads, so we still have 3 more rounds to go. Definitely a long quest, so having some threat reduction in general is a good idea, because you're gonna be here for a while. And what makes it so hard in solo is how hard the beginning of the game is in solo. Like right now I'm cruising, I'm fine, but to get to this point it's very hard. All right, we draw another Steward of Gondor, which I don't need. Bearivore will draw us 2 Unexpected Courages. That was unexpected. And let's see, in my hand, what do I got? I got a Deep Knowledge. Yeah, why not? So let's raise my threat by 2, go up to 45, and the 2 cards we draw is a Drinking Song and another Favor of the Valar. Okay, I think I'm okay with this hand because, like I said, I have Fierce Defense. So that is the only card I really care about having at this point. So let's go up to 7 threat on the Crossroads. Another Mumak shows up. I don't even care. I don't even care. It's a Mumak, so what? There is currently 10 threat in staging before I reveal a card, and I need to place 1 progress on the quest. Okay, so I can send all of my allies, so they're all questing for 2 except for the swordsmen that are questing for 3. It would be nice to get my 3rd Aether swordsman out, then questing becomes very easy. Let's also send Frodo for 2 more. Yeah, so we are sending 16 against 10. And there we go, a location, the foothills of Ithilien. It's a 3/6, and while it's the active, Harad enemies get -1 threat. And then to travel there, you have to engage an enemy. So that's one of those locations earlier in the game that would have let me engage 2 enemies when my threat wasn't high enough. Now it's no problem, all the enemies engage me. So we are going to engage that Mumak. That exhausts all my allies when he engages me. And then Faramir readies Sam, and Bearivore readies thanks to the Steed of the North. And I think you guys know the drill. So we're going to deal out the shadow cards, and then we're going to play some Fierce Defense. So 3 resources, and we're going to just discard this Mumak. So it looks like in this game I'm going to be able to get rid of all the Mumaks. Ooh, there goes that other captain of Harad. Nice. All right. Jubair will defend, he will ready, he'll get rid of the shadow. It's, dang. I actually wanted to reveal this treachery because it would have let me grab both enemies from underneath the Crossroads, so I didn't have to go 2 more rounds, but alas, there it goes. All right, can we kill this guy? Yes, easily. No problem. I don't even need to spend a resource to trigger the Fire of Gondor. We can kill that enemy. Okay, so all we have is an active location, no enemies in play. Yep, we're cruising. We're cruising. Give this quest a try, and you will see. Like, I do challenge you to try to build a solo thematic ranger trap deck that can beat this thing. It's extremely hard to do because trap decks, they have some weaknesses, and this quest definitely takes advantage of those weaknesses. I mean, you just have trouble defending in general if you don't have traps going off. And look at that. I draw my 3rd copy of Fierce Defense. I could have easily triggered Bearivore to find it. I also had a Drinking Song. I still haven't triggered Old Bogey Stories, so I wasn't worried about finding that. We draw our last copy of a Test of Will as well, so that's great. I could do a Drinking Song to try to find my 3rd Aether Swordsman, but I'll just play one of these Unexpected Courages on Faramir to get 2 more willpower, and let's go into the quest phase. All right, we get one of these Captains of Harad, so we can finally, not Harad, Captains of Harad, Haradrim Soldier, that's what he's called. So at least now we can handle it. I don't know what's worse to reveal in the early game. I mean, a Mumak just, can basically kill you, but you could have Feint or something. But this Haradrim Soldier attacking for 4 twice on turn 1, that's just really tough. Okay, we got another one of these foothills. So we do clear the active, barely. And we can travel to the other foothills. Actually, that enemy was -1 threat, so we actually quested for a little more because the foothills make all the enemies -1 threat. Actually, 6 progress is a lot to get through. Let's not travel to the foothills. We're going to engage this guy. He's going to do all the readying. He's going to make an immediate attack. And because I have the card in hand, I just want to play Quick Strike and kill him, but I realize I don't quite have enough resources on Faramir to do that. But I also then realize, wait, I never triggered Steward of Gondor, so hold off. Let's back up. Steward triggers. I get 2 resources on Faramir, and then I can spend one of them to trigger the Fire of Gondor, which will give Faramir an attack boost of 6, and then I can spend a second one to trigger Quick Strike, and that is a total of 8, and it takes 7 to kill this guy. So even if I had spent that one resource like I was supposed to, I still would have had just enough to kill this guy. So no problem there. Doing these voiceovers, I catch my mistakes, and like I've said before, if you recorded yourself playing this game, I think you would notice a lot of mistakes you make when you play the game. You think you play a clean game, and then you watch a video and you're like, oh no, I made a couple mistakes as we went. But I like it when I see the mistake and then I watch the video. I'm like, okay, but it didn't matter. It didn't negate the win. Okay, so we draw a second Gondorian Fire, which you can put on the same character, and you can trigger multiple Gondorian Fires for the same attack. So that's kind of crazy. All right, so we get our third Amphalas Herdsman. I was really hoping to get the third Aether Swordsman, but I'll take the Herdsman. So he's also questing for 2. All my Outlands characters have +3 hit points, so just amazing archery soaks. All right, quest phase. We know a Mumak was coming. We are going to be up against 9 +3 +3, so that's 15. I probably should have looked for that Aether Swordsman, but I can still muster up a lot. So we got 2, 4, and then that will be 10, and then each of these guys are 2, so that's 16. Frodo makes it 18. Faramir will ready, making it 20. The card we reveal is Arrows Thick in the Air. That's perfectly fine. We needed to make no progress, so we are okay. Let's travel to the Crossroads. We just have to clear that to win, and we can engage this Mumak. And man, I get all screwed up, and I tried to back up and fix it so it could look right on camera. Here's what's supposed to have happened. He engaged me. I have to exhaust all my allies, so Eorith exhausts. Then Faramir triggers and can ready Eorith. Then Beravor could also ready, thanks to Steed of the North. Then he has Archery 2, which I will put on Beravor. I will then spend one of Baravor's resources, exhaust Eorith, and heal that archery off. Watching the video, you could just see where I'm just like, this, then this, forget it. Fierce Defense. Let's just play Fierce Defense and get rid of this Mumak. So there we go. Got rid of the Mumak. So all 3 Mumaks go bye-bye. And there also went one of those little surgy enemies. All we got to do is make 9 progress on the active location. And for the first time this game, 9 rounds, we are only revealing 1 card. All right. Hotam Bombadil was on top of my deck. I really should sleeve that in a different sleeve. Beravor finds me my 3rd Aether Swordsman, so let's spend the resources for that. So now all my Outlands characters are +3. The Aether Swordsmen by themselves are questing for 12. And so, yeah, let's just get the heck out of here. Gonna send all of my allies and Frodo and Faramir, and it's pretty close to 30, whatever we're sending here. And the card we reveal is, okay, the Southron Road. It's just a 4th threat location. Doesn't matter. We cleared the Crossroads. We got the heck out of this quest. And the 2 enemies that made it through were 2 Haradrim soldiers. I'm fine with that. That is a perfect conclusion for me. I am perfectly fine with that, to be honest. That is great. Okay, let's take a look at the campaign resolution. So on this side, it tells me that if I had decided to put Brace of Conies into my deck, I could have kept it. And then it also says to record the names of the enemies that made it to the Black Gate into the campaign log. All right, guys, that was a victory. It was my first time playing this deck live, and I got a win, so I'm very happy with that. Hope you enjoyed that one. All right, and up next, we're going to deal with a little bit of a pest control problem. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.